All right, looks like we're live, guys. Hey, don't you even bark. Man, this is I feel a lot of energy today. This is a lot of energy. I feel great about today's show. If anybody doesn't know Brian Staveley, Brian Staveley's the man.
Who is that? Who's Brian Staveley?
You're the man, Brian. I'm going to tell you why you're the man. Every time we talk to somebody and, we're trying to gather, I was asking Bob the question, if you want to learn the true Mandela Effect, who can you talk to? Who are the people to talk to? And everybody, every time somebody says a name, Brian's name is always in it. Always. Oh, Brian. Oh, he's number one. Brian's great. Brian. I have never heard one bad thing from the community. Now, of course, outsiders always talk shit about everybody.
Yeah. You haven't heard one bad thing. I don't know. Even.
I have a troll that keeps following me everywhere I go. You saw that troll, Bob, right? That fucking troll that keeps following me. So everybody always says, Brian. I'm like, no, I'm going to ask Brian one day to come on the show. And somebody goes, Brian would never go on your show. I'm like, why not? He bleeds red just like everybody else. He's human, I think. I think he's human. I've been accused of not being. Brian is going to shock you, Brian. It's going to shock you. There was a time that nobody would come on this show. I couldn't even get a guess. I couldn't even pay somebody to come on the show.
It was my fault. They found that I was on the show. They're like, I go on the show.
You're too extreme. You guys are a bunch of hillbillies. And I'm like, fucking hillbillies. We both got college degrees. He's got a bachelor degree from University of Washington. I got an archaeologist. I got a degree from University of Phoenix in business and IT networking. Like, we're not hillbillies. But one day I go, Bob, I finally got us a guest. And he's like, well, who is it? Who is this person? I go, Cynthia Sue Larson. He's like, she wants to come on here? And I said, yeah, she says that she's writing a book. And in her book, I don't know if this is bullshit. It's probably bullshit. But she goes, in the book, it says I have to go on your show.
That's cool.
Okay. I'm like, okay, sure. We're in the book. That's whatever you believe. That's fine. And then after she came on, I think a few people finally saw the show and like, okay, these guys aren't assholes.
Well, when you asked me to come on, I think you asked me in the YouTube comment. How long did it take me to reply? It didn't take long because I honestly didn't know who you were. You left a comment, then I looked at your channel. It looked like, all right, these guys put some effort into it, And then I watched your first live stream that came up, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'm like, oh, these guys are smart. They'll touch on different topics. They don't put barriers around them. They're not afraid to cuss, to joke around, and they just kick back and just fucking shoot the shit. I'm like, I feel like these guys are my brothers. I'll go on, no problem. I said.
Yeah.
And then I watched the next show, and the next show was really good as well.
Yeah, we never, I might have a topic in the title of whatever the show is called, and then we just go from there. Sometimes we touch on it, sometimes we don't. It's just the way it is. Last week we had that Chiquita. He was an awesome guy. When I learned about where he's from, and that's what I love about this show, getting different people and getting the perspective where they're at in life, and maybe we get into Mandela Effect, how they got into it, why they're here, that kind of stuff.
How long you been doing the host?
How long I've been the host?
How long you been doing these type of shows and doing YouTube Mandela shows?
That's a good question. Bob probably he got into it hard. Probably 2016, Bob.
2016.
And during that time, people called him crazy. Family members, everybody called him crazy. So, and people used to ask me all the time, "Is your brother crazy?" I said, "Well, if he sees what he sees, how is he crazy?" I mean, you can't debunk what he's seeing. So, I had another channel. It was called Mr. True Thoughts. And we used to do some videos, not live, but we did some videos with the green screen. We cut some shit. It was some awesome show. I mean, and where I asked Bob every freaking question that there is in the Mandela Effect world, every question. But one day Bob goes, "Hey, I went to your channel and it was taken down."
Yeah, it took his channel down. Dude, he wasn't even a truther. He's not a truther. He wasn't a truther, and he took his channel down. I'm like, I'm louder.
His channel is more shit than mine.
I'm louder. It's like he was subtle. He was like, they took his channel down for what? What the fuck the hell?
I lost a lot of content. I think I got some stuff backed up, but the problem is I had to build the pictures on the green screen. I built all this for the show, so I might have the raw footage. I might, come back to it. But yeah, it was taken down. So we've been doing this for a while, but I was laid off about 6 months ago after all my freaking years of working. So it gave me time to actually do this. So Bob came from Manchester, UK one day. He had to stay. He had to leave Manchester, UK for a while. And, every day I had to set up a green screen in the kitchen. We're like, let's just go live. Let's just forget the green screen. Yeah. And we did. And it just built. I mean, when he first started on my new channel, I had 56. And then it just grew and grew. We kept doing it every single Tuesday. We don't try to do it like every day because I don't want to get people bored. Yeah. So Tuesday's our regular show, and then Thursday, Friday is if anybody's available. Weekend for me is kind of hard because the wife and kids, but it just grew. People come, on Tuesdays, and then we start inviting people, and then after Cynthia, people start coming on, and so we've been doing this for a while, but live more like 5 months.
Yeah,
let me just let this dog in my room. He's barking.
Oh, go ahead, dude. Bring your animals in. I got a dog right here. I got cats everywhere. Half of my videos, we got a cat in the background. Bring your animals.
Like I said, I got a Chihuahua sitting right next to the computer.
Bring the dogs and animals in. Fuck it. I mean, man, cats scare me bad spirits. So I like dogs and cats around me. Since I woke up in 2016, I like animals around me all the time.
I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna ask your an opinion.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I want to ask your opinion. Now I want everybody in the chat. I might say something might offend you. I apologize because I'm bringing religion into this. I apologize if I offend anybody. Don't bash me on this. So Brian, people like to bash. People like to bash. In 80% of the world probably believes in religion. I don't know the exact numbers, but 70-80% of people believe in religion.
Yeah.
70-80% believes in God. I'm not saying God's not real, but 70-80% believes in God. God created earth. God created everybody. God can destroy people if he wants. God created hell. The angels, you have Satans, you have devils. So basically God's like the ultimate Harry Potter world, Sith, Force, whatever you want to say. God is the most powerful being in the world if you believe in the religion. So what it's always hard for me to understand is if people can believe that you could die, go to heaven, you can believe all this spiritual, but when somebody comes out and just says something simple like something changed in Monopoly, they look at you like you're fucking crazy. And it's like, hold on. Like, I'm crazy. You believe in God that could do all this, do all these changes. But if somebody comes out and just says something changed in Monopoly, you're crazy. What do you say when people call you crazy?
There it is. Good question.
Well, they really fire me up because there's a lot of the people that are Mandela deniers that claim to be, hardcore Bible thumpers or whatnot, or by their actions, that's exactly what they are. And they'll come out with stuff like, oh, nothing's changing. The word of God can't change. And we're falling for the delusion. And I'll turn it right on them and say they're the ones that are falling for the grand delusion.
Yeah.
Because they're totally ignoring that everything's changing around them. And they say the word of God can't change. And here's the thing, whether that's the word of God, the word of man, the word of a fucking alien, a dinosaur, whatever you think it's the word of, a robot, AI, the scripture's still changing on their pages. They're just denying what's happening. I honestly think and we all have different opinions on what the Mandela Effect is, and none of us know. That's all theory. We can prove it's happening, right? But my theory, I think that we're meant to see these changes, and it's kind of like our way of recognizing this matrix that we're in and getting out of here. And by them denying the changes and lying to themselves, that's the great delusion.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that the backstories that have sarcasm in it and that get inserted into our timeline, I'm not just talking about the new pieces that come out, like the new Black Tom videos that come out by Vox and all these media outlets, like in the last couple of years. I'm talking about the stuff that goes back in our timeline and reinforces like the Ed McMahon AFP videos and that. I think that's coming from the dark side. I do. I think that's coming from the evil side to make us doubt ourselves, doubt our consciousness. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. I see the changes myself, and I gotta ask. I always say to myself, well, God don't have hands, we do. And I keep saying that God don't have hands, we do. So in order for us to see things, sometimes you gotta allow evil to happen. And it sucks to say that, but these things have to happen for us to wake up. Now, I'm not endorsing 9/11. That's fucked up. But it hadn't been for 9/11, a lot of people wouldn't have woke up. You know, it's fucked up. Like they talk about the Kennedy assassination. And this is how blatantly fucking obvious it is. Without going into how many people were sitting in the car. Forget all of that. Forget all of that fucking bullshit. Let's go back to his fucking window where he shot. Where Oswald shot Kennedy. It's square. Okay. All the windows are round, dude. But the window he shot out of is square. You know, you got to scratch your head and go, well, that's obvious. Pretty much God put things, or the architect, or whatever you want to call it, the fucking groundhog, put everything in so easily perspective for people to understand. It doesn't take a genius to see the changes.
No.
It's there for us to see. And for those of us that have memories or were conspiracy buffs when we were younger, that's all I see now with the Mandela Effect. We all had that doubt when we were kids growing up. No, not one of us believed the teacher in classroom. I guarantee you that. So everybody has the same makeup. I'm an anthropologist. I fucking write it down. All of us have the same conspiracy. All of us listen to Art Bell, pretty much hands down. And we all doubt shit. So when we see these things that are obvious and getting more obvious, sometimes you just want to throw your hands up and say, we got another one. Let's just make another show. Because, you know, impeachment is now in the Bible. We're talking about impeachment with the old orange face. And now impeachment's in the Bible. So there's all these little things happening right now is actually coming into the Bible.
Yeah. And I think that's why I think a lot of the things that are the most affected are the things that are most observed, like the KJV, Star Wars, Wizard of Oz. It's not just because those are the most like it is because they're the most popular, but people, the debunkers will say, oh, you just think that because, you know, those are the most no, but we watch for smaller movies.
Most people see that.
We watch other things, and they do change, but not as much as those hugely viewed.
Yeah.
You know,
the easy
one. And the Bible too, though. One more thing, they do have a lot of that gender confusion now, which we see in the mainstream. Yeah. That's in there now. You know.
Yeah, no, I know why though. I've told people why from an anthropological point of view. I told people why that's happening. No one, and everyone's like, he's just crazy. Now, remember, I studied anthropology at the University of Washington. And our limbic systems as men were small, the size of little ass fucking like little walnuts. They're size of walnuts. A man's limbic system is small. It's a Mandela effect, and not everyone's going to know that unless you went to fucking college for biology. But a man's and a woman's was large, and a man's was small. And in this timeline, a man's is not. It's large, if not a little bit bigger than a female's. So a woman saw things and perceived things differently than a man back home because of their larger limbic system. And men didn't see that. So I always joke about a man will walk by a flower and say, that's cool, man. It's got like 6 leaves, and keep walking. It might take a piss. A woman will walk by and say, don't piss on that flower. It's beautiful. They'll see they'll feel the flower. We didn't feel it like that, but they did. But now you hand a man a flower and he's like, oh, he's like Ferdinand the Bull. She's beautiful, you know, because they have the same limbic systems.
Wow.
It's called the horned. This is a Mandela effect for me. It's called the horned hippocampus. It looks like, if you look at your brain, it's got 2 horns, man. It's called the horned hippocampus, and I've never seen it before. Wow. And so we've literally got horns in our head. The way it looks if you do an X-ray. So women and men now are pretty much equal on the old mentality scale when it comes down to sexuality, right down to sexuality. And also I tell people they don't know this. Also, and this is a joke for people to laugh at, men had a small rectum, women had a large one because men were dumb. In the mating ritual, they were stupid. Let's just face it. For the mistake, fail safe. Women were designed with a large one because guys missed the target. Now men have the same size as women. They're large, like a woman's. And I'm like, what the fuck is this for? This is an emergency fail-safe for females when men mating with females. Now, men have them, which means I told me that God gave men a fail-safe for the booty. Why would a man have a fail-safe for booty? It just don't make no sense. And then I see all the homosexuality that's prevalent here in Babylon. I go, now I know it. Shit, now I know. I mean, everybody's buggering in any direction. I go, well, that's why God made it larger. So men won't be hurt, damaged, or because men are being raped in this timeline. Men are feminine. Guys from back home like you and me, Brian, you ain't getting raped. I ain't getting raped. But the men that are here local, they're subject to being raped because they're very soft males. If you've noticed that, you notice how soft the males are.
Yeah,
they could be raped just as easy as a woman now. So that's why I'm just throwing it at you. Is one of the reasons why I think we have the same size rectum. I didn't know, people don't know that, but I
didn't even know there was a difference, you know?
Yeah, so now you know there is a reason why men have the same size rectum as a female, and because we have the same size hippocampus or same size limbic system as a female now. So men are basically women-ish. It's
the fucking Mandela Effect fucking gave me a wide asshole.
God has to protect no matter where we are. So if men are getting raped and buggered here, especially as children, males, he's got to give them something, a fail-safe, so they won't be tore up on the inside. You know, they won't be tore up like prison style, like, you know, back in our time. Men weren't designed for that. It was exit only in our time. And that's just a fact. You know what I'm talking about. Over here, you know, they got the fail-safe. That's a dead freaking giveaway that God's protecting people the best way he can, especially males, because they are feminine. And you're correct to say that they're all you guys keep saying all the men are feminine. You're correct. Now I'm telling you the extra stuff to protect the feminine males. Guys like you and me got to step up for the softies now and say, hey, lay off the dude. You know, it ain't his fault. It's just the way they are here, you know?
Well, I got another question, but first, let me do a shout out. Patrick, do you see your fucking wrench? Hope you see your wrench. You know what everyone's talking about? People were giving me a hard time because I wasn't giving out wrenches. I learned how to give out a wrench. So, Patrick, you got your fucking wrench. Stop bitching about it now.
Oh, you're gonna need wrenches once people find out I'm on here.
Well, you have a wrench. I put a wrench for you. I took time to learn. But hey, Brian, I saw your show the other day with Crow 77. Is it 777?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic interview. I didn't hear the whole thing, so I gotta because when you go on, I'm taking my kids to school. Yes, people, I actually do have kids. I am a normal person. You know, people don't think we have kids and wives and stuff, but you know, oh well. But on your show, you were talking about 9/11. I know Bob mentioned 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned something that actually made me open up my eyes a little bit more.
Yeah.
When shit happens, a gunshot goes off, you hear about new laws coming out, a woman's name gets on the gun law. You know, people come out and talk about when something tragedy has happened. But you mentioned something that you're correct on, that not the firemen, not the people when the tower came down, but the people who actually work there, live in those towers. I really don't hear none of those people come out and talk about their loved ones. Yeah, I don't. When you said that, I know there was a South Park cartoon, like the conspiracy, but I can see where there is a conspiracy because I don't hear the main people who work at the buildings talk about their loved ones. I don't hear it. You're right.
You don't hear it. And think about this when you're on, just without even getting deep into the investigation either. We can talk about that, but just on social media, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, these things. People post the dumbest shit. I mean, they'll post pictures of what they had for dinner, right? They'll post pictures of their dog. I post pictures of my dog. Everybody does, right? It's not really dumb, but you know what I'm saying. All these people, when I talk about my views on 9/11 and no one dying, there'll be keyboard warriors that'll come over to my posts and talk shit. But anytime I ask for as much as even a name, they don't even have a name prepared to lie to me. Never mind, even you could just look up a fucking fake name and have it be prepared. They don't even have that. And then every 9/11, and you can't say I'm not making a lot of noise. I'm challenging them all to call in. I open up the phones. They never call in. And not only that, on your Facebook feed, your Twitter, whatever, right? Like I said, people post pictures of their dinner. Every September 11th, with 3,000 victims in this country, that's 60 per state. Your feed should be flooded with pictures to the memorials. Get together at my Uncle Jane's house for Uncle Johnny that died in the towers. Oh, when I was with Uncle Jimmy before he died. Boom, boom, boom. It should be flooded, and you don't see it at all because it doesn't exist.
Good point, dude.
When I heard him talk about that, I was like, no, he's right. I remember when the band Great White had this fire in a club back east, and I still hear how they do charities for the victims and all that. But you don't hear nothing on 9/11. That's the biggest thing in the world that supposedly happened to us. So it's so weird.
And you want to talk about, well, think about where 9/11 happened. I'm going to lay out something. First, I'm going to say, do you remember the video, all the videos of the tens of thousands of people running out the towers? Now, most people's immediate answer is yes. That's incorrect. There isn't any video of anybody leaving the towers on 9/11. Now let's paint the scene real quick. We're in New York City, the media capital of the world, literally the backyard of all the media. Not only that, the towers took about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes each to come down after the alleged airplane hits, right?
Right.
They have reporters on the ground doing interviews with the Harley guy and everybody else. None of them get the Pulitzer Prize winning most dramatic shot of all time. They tell you that 47 people that filmed the second plane unexpectedly 500-mile-an-hour jet in the most crowded skyline, maybe in the world, at least in our country. And they happened to film it, but not a single one panned down and filmed the people below. 4 helicopters in the air, not a single one panned down and filmed the thousands of people streaming out of the towers. That would have been too hard to fake. They would have involved too many people, so they didn't do that.
But you also do something that you tell people, go to your channel because you have earlier videos of evidence and stuff and all that. See, that's what I like about what you do. You just don't say it, you back it up.
Oh, you guys think I talk about Mandela? I was way deeper in 9/11. I got tons of research. And literally, people won't look at the victims. If you literally go, they didn't even bother to fake more than 400 of them. There's 2,600 missing names from the Social Security Death Index.
See, that makes sense because I'm gonna add to this. I'm gonna add to your theory. This is new to me, by the way. This is new. Hearing this from you is new. I do the anthropology stuff. I'm gonna add to what you say. I was going to college. Okay, this is after it all happened, right? So this is already done and done. 9/11's over. I'm going to college, and I got a VA loan, right? So I get the VA, all the veteran stuff, all the disabled veteran stuff. Yep. So I go to the disabled veterans office to fill out my paperwork, to sit down with a computer. You've probably been to college. You know how that fucking pain in the ass. You get all that shit filled out. But I'm in the veterans office doing it, and I'm disabled, so they kind of give you a hand, whatever. So I'm sitting in the office, and I'm looking around the office now, and I'm seeing what looked to be like some young gals, younger gals. And I'm like, wait a minute now, look at me, and then look at some like 18, 19-year-old girl sitting there doing the same paperwork. And I'm like, where did you serve? She goes, oh, I didn't serve. I wasn't in the military. Well, so you're sitting at the VA hospital. You're sitting next to me in the VA office filling out paperwork. Where the fuck did you come from? She goes, I'm a 9/11 family victim. I said, what? She goes, she got a free ride to school, free everything. We're talking free, and I have to pay a little bit. I'm a disabled veteran. I got to pay a little bit. She got it free. The 9/11 was a 9/11 grant program or some bullshit name for it. You guys will figure it out there. Look it up. You'll find the research. They got all this free fucking college. So I'm like, so who died in 9/11 for you? Oh, and she didn't even really have an answer right away.
They never have an answer, bro.
Wait a minute. Dude, it was no, I had to come back one day. I had to leave the office because I walk in the office and there's kids lined up. These are not vets. These are kids, but the government veterans office is handling them, the 9/11 grants. But why are we letting who are these kids? So I have finally get my ass in there and sit down with the rest of the vets that are annoyed as I am going, who the fuck are all these kids? Well, they're the 9/11 fucking family victims. What? So they're getting free fucking college because Uncle fucking Suso fucking died we don't even have, is there evidence of this? I mean, it was bullshit. These guys got free college. So whoever played ball, the family got free college, man. I'm gonna throw that in that little bit.
And you got injured in the military, which I got injured. You got injured, both disabled vets, according to the government, and we don't get nothing.
No, so you should be extra insulted. And for people to get mad at me for calling these people out, oh, you're insensitive, blah, blah, blah. What about the families? Bring the fucking families forth. They haven't fucking come forth yet, dude. Yet. And it's well documented, and I've proven it. The towers were already down to 20% occupancy by the late 90s. They used that 1993 shit to scare everybody to drive them the fuck out. So when people bring up the thing, oh, well, why don't we have all these people saying they were told to not come into work that day? Because they weren't working that day anyways. They weren't even in the building to begin with. There was nobody to tell. But they had legitimate businesses like the on the roof, the Windows of the World and the observation deck were legitimate. But all they did is rifle people. They rifled in a couple 100,000 people a day in a subway stop at the basement of the place. What do people in that district in New York look like? They look just like office workers, rifling in and out of the building, elevator access restricted to certain floors, and they literally would shoot them up to the top. And yes, those attractions were real. And if you ever wondered why would they hit the tower so early? Why not wait another hour or two till it's more full? Because the attractions opened at 9:30. You hit it with a plane at 8:45. You don't have to suspiciously say, hey, you can't come in. There's a fucking plane in our building. Get out of here. You're already sealed off blocks away. You're not even near it. And it's not suspicious.
Wow, that's good, man. Yeah.
It's hard to debate that when you look when you look it up yourself, you go to the videos, you type it in, and you don't see people. I mean, everything he's saying is true.
There's thousands of fake. There's thousands of Photoshop victims in the moment.
No, I know. I know you said.
These are happy, by the way. You're upset.
It's a good way to spread fear, which it is a great way to spread fear. But I also think it could be also because instead of the most powerful money in the world is gold, it's oil, and we needed a reason to go into Iraq not because we want to get rid of Saddam. We needed the oil. You think oil is part of it with fear?
That's a part of. There's always many agendas. Fear and control, and the psychological aspect of it it's over what the oil is. But here's something you might like: is one of the first things they did when they went in Iraq is they went to the museums and took their artifacts, not their oil.
I already know that. I know that was there. I already know all about that.
He worked in that department.
I know you do.
At Washington D.C.
That's why I brought that up. What do you think about that? I mean, there's some severe.
They sit in a small group. So what they did was, okay, here, let me tell you guys a story. That's good. Good you have me on the show.
He worked at the Washington, D.C. Museum. What's that museum called, Bob? You worked at?
Oh, Smithsonian Institute.
Yeah, you worked there.
It used to be the institute. Now it's the institution.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it's institute. I worked at the Natural History Museum, and I worked at some other ones. What happened in Iraq was the whatever they want to call it, they raided it because the number one, I'm saying right now, I learned this in college, right? This is during the war, after the war, whatever. Saddam Hussein was the best, number one curator on the planet. Saddam Hussein was a curator. Let me get this again. He's a dictator. No, he was a curator. Okay, let me say this again. Saddam Hussein in academics, whatever, was a curator by trade. Okay, by trade, he was not a fucking badass leader. He was a puppet leader, but he was a curator. Okay, he had the best in Iran. They had the best fucking museum system ever. Well, I worked in Smithsonian and I worked in Suitland. It's called Suitland in Maryland. And in Suitland in Maryland, they have these large buildings. This is where I worked at for a while. You guys ever watch Indiana Jones? The end of Indiana Jones, where they pushed the Raiders of the Lost Ark, they put it into a crate, and they pushed that crate into that big-ass museum. That's the museum I worked in. It was like that. So everything's in crates and locked away. Now, before any artifact can enter the certain door to go into the museum, they had to go through the CO2 tent. And that's what I read, the CO2 tent. So we bring the artifacts in this big-ass tent. We pump up, okay? I fill it with CO2, and it kills every living organism within that artifact so it will not deteriorate. You understand? Killing all the organisms in that artifact. Then it goes from the CO2 tent. I have a whole mask on. I pull the CO2 out. I wheel the artifact into that cool-ass room like an Indiana Jones. You hit the control. It's temperature controlled, everything controlled, man. I mean, it's top dollar. You push it into that area, you label it off, blah, 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 you leave that area. All those things are CO2 treated. Everything in there is going to preserve for a long time. Now, Saddam Hussein had something even better than that. He also had the CO2 chambers for all the artifacts coming in. Now, all the artifacts that were in there was from Babylon, from all the early antiquity. Babylon, all the early, we're talking tablets, man, statues. You could go nothing. Egypt is nothing, and they had Egyptian stuff in there too. They had things from all over the Middle East. I mean, he had it all. He had everything. That was his job, to keep all of those artifacts. So all of a sudden, the Bush fucking cartel says, well, it's time to go get them artifacts. Yep. Blah, 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 blah. We got to have a war. So the war, the mass destruction, and the whatever bullshit, man. They went in there and they raided the fucking museum. They raided the fuck out of it. They had Marines going in street clothes in regular fucking civvies, and they removed everything. And some of the shit went to my shit. I was like down the lower hold. I'm like writing some shit in. What is this case? What's in this case? What's in this case? Shit was getting stuffed in the fucking lower hold. We were taking things out of Iraq, and they were being shipped off to these little fucking places. They didn't go to Smithsonian now. I've been on Smithsonian. They're not there.
Yeah.
So some of these nice little these fraternities, you might want to call them, these little fraternity boys, have all them artifacts inside their fucking studios, their little fraternities, and these things give you a lot of answers about what's going on now with this place.
Yeah.
A lot of things to do with what's going on now, because back then they kind of followed the same thing we're doing now.
Yeah.
And they had the same kind of destruction. It was a mass destruction. We might want to call it God or whatever. But the same thing is going on now. Here, presently, we're having the same thing they had back then in Babylon when it was all destroyed. But they took all that evidence. And not only that, after it was done, then they created ISIS. ISIS is a bunch of fucking Americans, private security, mostly, all over the place, blowing up. And remember, blowing up historical fucking items, blowing up historical areas, just so Brian and myself can't come on fucking live and say, you remember that structure that was over in so-and-so place? And Brian would say, yeah, I remember it, but it was blown up, so I can't quite remember 100%. I'm like, yeah, I remember it had this on the face. You're going to be like, well, I don't remember. I think I remember because it's been blown the fuck up.
Yeah.
So we can't definitively tell you each other what it looked like because they blew it up. They were blowing up all the historical shit. So they raided the museum, and then the Americans went in and blew up all the historical fucking sites. Yep. And now Donald Trump says he's going to blow up the cultural centers. We're doing it all over again. Here we go, blowing up the cultural centers. He's going to blow up the cultural centers. So they're still doing it. So, again, you were correct about the museum. I wanted to add that to it. So you welcome the information, man. Run around with it.
That's great.
And there were people were being restricted. Only the French were allowed to go into the Middle East for a little while. So the French were actually working with them.
Hey, Bob, I guess I must have fucked up your YouTube channel, copy and paste. People are trying to go to your channel, and they're saying I gave them a dead channel. So I'll fix that, people. I apologize. I'll fix it. But can you tell them the name of your channel? So the amount.
Oh, it's just Robert Wood. There's nothing special about it. It's like
if you type in Robert Wood, Mandela Effect, it'll come up. It'll come up. So I apologize. I'll fix it. I'm sorry. You can continue, Bob. I just had to let people know.
No. I just wanted to add to what Brian was talking about because he's really good at the 9/11 thing. I'm learning from him about that. I'm just telling people because I was over there on my end, and that's what's going on. That's what happened during the war, the big war.
Yeah.
And also 9/11 to me is a joke because, in my opinion, the reason why they blew up the whole thing so they could have all the security in the fucking airports, because I've been running all over the fucking Europe trying to get into the areas of the airport to see the fucking wings of them planes because they're saying that there's fuel in the wings of the planes. There are no fuel in the wings of the planes.
No, and another agenda too that I think is huge is the way they were able to pretty much openly surveil everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more. I mean, we already knew they were doing it, but a lot more open, a lot more blatant, and of course they can increase how much they do it, and that's all accepted because of the 9/11 fair porn and all of it. It's just everything's accepted. The CIA can do anything, the FBI can do anything they want. Doesn't matter. You have no rights.
He worked at a plane museum for 10 years.
Yeah, I worked at a fucking aerospace. Aerospace. Check out my neck. I know he hates this. I don't blame you. Hey, Brian, I'm going to show you something. Now, take a look at this. Tell me something. I want you to look at this symbol here. Now, the symbol says a lot. Now, you remember the old NASA symbol?
Yeah.
Okay, it was just the old NASA. It was just regular NASA.
Yeah.
This one, it actually gives you information about what they're playing with. You see NASA, and you see a ring, right?
Yeah.
And you see this symbol, that red symbol. What is that symbol for?
Well, it's supposed to be like a serpent tongue, a vector, but they don't tell you that.
No, it's mathematical.
Oh, okay.
This is a mathematical symbol. This is how you measure the matrix, the eigen value. This is how you measure the matrix if you're doing time travel. This is the symbol you use in the equation for time travel. Okay, so NASA why the fuck do they have this symbol on something they're going into space with? Now, let's repeat this. They're building rockets to go to outer space. Oh, Elon fucking Musk. Why does NASA have a mathematical symbol that measures the matrix? The matrix measures dimensions. It measures time and space and dimensions. The matrix. This measures the matrix, the exact word, the matrix. If you look it up. Why is something on their symbol now? And I remember when it wasn't like this, the Air Force was in.
I don't know, but that is one ugly shirt, brother.
I wear it because I used to work with these guys. I used to work with them. So now I laugh. I laugh because it didn't look like this back in my time. This is measuring the matrix. I go, well, why do they have a mathematical symbol that measures the matrix when they're going into space?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with space.
No.
This has nothing to do with space. So it's telling me that the whole thing's a farce just by the symbol.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, at my time, there was no Apollo missions.
Well, yeah, you talked about that the other day because you were working and all this stuff got to come in for all these other missions, and you and the other guys were like, what other Apollo missions?
What missions you're talking about? The curator himself threw the paper down in the fucking thing. He was having an upset moment. He just had a baby. His wife, he married. He's working at home. He's like complaining how he has to work at home because we gotta get caught up. Because every fucking month, it was like a new Apollo popped up, and I'm like,
I remember you asked me. You remember them playing golf on the moon?
Yeah.
I was like, who played golf on the moon? Apollo 11.
Apollo 11.
They played golf, and then I typed it in. Holy fuck! There's a footage of somebody playing golf. When did that happen?
So yeah, we get that. We get the graphics in. I'm like, what do you want me to do with these graphics? We got to put them up. Put them up where? What a fucking golf on the moon for? Who played golf on the moon? And then I worked on the rovers. The rovers battery is about this big. You ever you ride a motorcycle, Brian?
Did I have one? I had one for like 2 years.
Okay, how big is that? How big is that battery?
Oh, I don't know. It was yay big.
Okay, that's the same size as on the rover. Okay, so you ride your bike, man. You leave your lights on. You go fuck around. How long does it take for that battery to fucking drain?
Oh, I'm not even sure. I never actually ended up with a dead battery because I never forgot the lights. I didn't drive my bike that much. I kind of just bought it.
Well, this is the same size battery on the fucking rover, man, all over the moon. I worked on the fucking rovers. I'm like, this battery stayed on for how many hours? How is it recharging? Well, they've got the solar panel.
Hey, what is this?
That solar panel that recharge wood.
What's up, incubator babies?
Incubator.
Anyone remember incubator babies?
Yeah,
I don't know this one.
Well, that was one of the things that supposedly got us in the first Gulf War. They said that the troops were fucking unplugging babies off the incubators.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he's talking about.
I didn't know anything about that. We didn't have Mike come on here and say that. What the hell is an incubator baby? I know that there was something in Sarajevo. They had a lot of babies, and a lot of people died. They had a lot of babies in the orphanages, and they were being killed.
In like 1991, the first Gulf War, that was one of the excuses they used for going in there. They said that the troops were going around in the hospitals and they were so brutal. They were unplugging babies from the incubators, so they would kill babies. And we know that's not what's going on.
No. Gulf War I was volleyball. So people say, "What do you mean?" No, Gulf War I was volleyball.
Well, if you were telling baby, why would you release him and put him back in the country?
Who's this?
Well, if it's, in 91, the first Gulf War, they captured him, Saddam, and then they let him go and took him back to his country. So if they went to these babies, why would you let him go?
Yeah, they went to the museums. They went to shake him down for the museums. They're taking all the shit out of the museums. And then he didn't want to cooperate. So next thing you know, he's fucking gassing the neighbors. We're like, he ain't gassing nobody.
I also remember the military was having problems getting recruitments. They were actually having big time problems. There were a lot of people in GEDs, being cooks and all that. So by coming up with the war, it brings that patriotic. We all got to join. So they actually, get the war funds the government. War brings money, brings jobs. It does. So when the economy goes bad, let's do a war. Let's get people to join.
Well, they were giving up. The Iran people in Iraq, they were giving up. There were tanks being blown up. nobody was really going face to face with any combat at that time. Pretty much all the soldiers were giving up in the desert. They had their hands up by the fucking hundreds. So in the first Gulf War, they just walked in with zip ties and just zip tied the enemy up and then let them go basically later on. But they were all giving up. The first one was a joke. Even Saddam was like, I ain't fighting you guys. They were all giving up. The second one got a little more brutal because we made it up a little bit crazier. We went into the fucking town and blew shit up. Kind of keep everybody out of the Middle East.
I gotta agree with Brian. Country. People weren't scared enough anymore. So we gotta bring fear back.
Yeah, and now they brought in all the commerce. They had Blackwater. Blackwater, they didn't even have American soldiers really doing anything anymore. They had Blackwater. Blackwater was finally kicked out for doing all the brutal shit. So
I'm trying to follow some of these questions people are bringing in, but there's so many. I'm
gonna shut up. You guys read a question.
FM, that woman was the daughter of Kuwait diplomat.
What was it?
FAM.
I think they're talking about the little girl. It was a little girl that spoke in front of like the UN or whatever about the baby being unplugged from the incubators. So they use that as an excuse as another excuse to go into Iraq back then.
Propaganda fake. All fake. I mean, it's the government, man. You know, people don't even understand that the United States government. It's just Rome. It's new Rome, new emperor, new Rome. The RH negative. We're gonna go conspiracy. We'll go conspiracy again. The RH negatives are still in fucking charge. The Queen of England. How many presidents have been knighted by the Queen of England? Pretty much all of them. Why are any American presidents being knighted by the Queen? It shouldn't be anybody knighted by the fucking Queen of England. There shouldn't be anybody. They're just working for the crown. All the RH negatives. Any president you guys seen up there, United States, is an RHO negative. It's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. I don't understand why the RH positives don't rise the fuck up and say, wait a minute now, why is there only negatives in the fucking office? Why is it weird that even though Barack Hussein Obama is an RHO negative, he was created, he was made. He was bred.
Dennis wrote fake politics.
Because they're all RH negatives. They're all RH negatives, and it's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. It's as simple as ask them, what's your blood type?
They're ordering children through football squares. How do I know? It's partly my testimony.
Is it ordering children through football squares? You mean like child trafficking?
Yeah, that's what she's talking about. I've spoken.
Yeah, child trafficking is rampant in this timeline. This timeline. Yeah. And remember, back home in my timeline, it was bad. But in this timeline,
now we got fucking orphan trains and everything.
Orphan trains with the that's weird. Those pictures of orphan trains with the whole mud flood conspiracy. They have those orphan trains.
Insane.
You know, tell people out there. Here's some information for you guys out there. Look this up. Don't just take my word for it. Go get the Time Life books, the Cowboy series, the Time Life book Cowboy series. The gunslinger, the native, the soldiers, the Time Life book gun series, or the Cowboy series, Time Life books, Cowboy series. They're brown. They look like leather, but they're not. You can get them on eBay. Open them pages up and look inside and see those American soldiers in the West. American soldiers. What kind of hat, Brian, do you think they would be wearing on a horse? In the West, what kind of hat do you think they'd be wearing?
Well, you would think a cowboy hat.
Okay, thank you very much. Would they be wearing a Prussian helmet with a spike?
No.
Okay, then go look it up. Go look up the books. There are American soldier officers wearing a Prussian helmets with the spike.
That's crazy.
When the fuck did that uniform come about? And I worked at Fort Lewis Historical Museum. There was no Prussian helmets worn by American soldiers. There's even Native Americans running around working with the American soldiers in the West wearing Prussian helmets. The fuck is a Prussian helmet doing in the fucking West? Not only that, take a look at those magazines and you're going to see a couple of soldiers with a bunch of kids, kind of weird, and they got a water hose, and they're spraying the kids down. They're all having a good time, spraying them down with a water hose. When did they have a water hose in the West? Okay, so again, don't take my word for it. Have fun, guys. Go on eBay, find those books. Go to your library. Go get those cowboy life, the lifetime books, the life books, cowboy series, the gunslinger, the whatever soldiers, and look up the pictures of the uniforms. They've got the Prussian helmets. They've got European altered uniforms, European uniforms. They were not American soldier uniforms. They were a blend of European and American. I'm like, no, man. You remember, like I remember, the cowboy hat, the gritty, whatever they wore out there. They wore the jeans for it. They had they had hemp cowboy pants that were like jeans. The first jeans were hemp. They were just regular like 501s, Levi jeans, things like that. But no, man, they've got these European fucking pants, European Stewart shirts. They got the fucking spiked helmets. No. There's a heavy European influence in American history back in that time. So you guys need to look that up too.
Here's a comment about that football squares. She's saying like the Office pulled football squares, making a game out of it. Read Easter of Children by my friend Johnny Cirksey. It's a research feast that is so heavily researched and referenced.
Wow. I could see it in this timeline. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that there's human trafficking in this place. It's just off the fucking charts.
Insane.
Oh, off the charts.
Well, here's a damn good question. I love this question. Brian, where is your cowboy hat and boots with the fur? Where's your hat, Brian?
That jingle, jingle, jangle.
Next time Brian comes on,
I wear a hat because I'm an ugly motherfucker. Okay? The hat makes me look better. That's the only reason why I'm wearing it. I'm an ugly guy. I admit it.
How many times, honestly, and I'm not trying to insult you, it's a joke, and you're a cool guy, this guy isn't, but how many times have people come on and said you look like Alex Jones with the cowboy hat?
I've heard everything. I used to wear a straw hat, and people say, look, you look like Bret Michaels. I mean, listen, this does not look good. Okay? This looks better. That's why. I want to look good for you people. I'm not trying to look ugly. I want to scare you away. Sorry.
Well, true story. Now, me and Eric, we wear hats. People are like, what's up with the hats, guys? My dad says you don't walk outside without a hat. Don't ever walk out. We come from Central Valley, California. We had that yellow sun, that hot yellow sun. You remember what that old sun looked like?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day. Do not walk outside without a fucking hat on with that old sun. That sun was old. But my older brother, which was a transitioning transsexual, also homosexual, whatever, he stopped wearing a hat. Now ask Gary, he stopped wearing a hat and was walking around with his head shaved, being proud and gay with his head shaved, looking like a REM singer, just looking just like him. Yeah. He had head cancer. All of a sudden, he had cancer on his fucking head. They cut off half his ass cheek and put it on his fucking head. It was gross, man. I was like, Dad told you to wear a fucking hat, dude. Dad says wear a hat, man. He didn't wear a hat. Eric, tell him. They lying.
Maybe we need to. Hey, I got a good business idea. Maybe we should make designer hats and sell them on our show. And anybody watching us could wear our hats.
I wear a hat religiously after that. I do not trust the sun. I do not walk around with my fucking head exposed. After my brother has half his ass cheek on his fucking head from head cancer, I'm telling people put a hat on. When I go outside with people, put a fucking hat. When I first got to England, I went to go visit Scott Harrison. I gave him a hat. I said, please wear a hat, man. You're making me nervous. Here's an old fucking cool ass cowboy hat. You're making me nervous.
I got a question for Brian. It's a simpler kind of a question because there's always everybody asks the same question. When did you wake up? When did you notice things? Everybody always asks that. I'm not saying that's wrong or bad or wrong of that kind of question. Some people believe that you wake up after you've died and come back. Some people believe you had a dramatic injury in life or something. And everybody has different reasons on why somebody wake up. But all the people you've interviewed and you talked to, what is the number one thing that you think was causing some people to wake up and some people are denying that they're waking up. If that makes sense.
I think for the most part, people really, and I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but I think really for the most part, people have to come pretty close to the realization that everything we were told is a lie, and nothing that we were told can be considered truth, especially the makeup of reality. And most people, they have a hard time coming to that. Even people in all these truth movements and all these different topics and stuff, that's a really hard thing for people. A lot of people do say the death thing, but I didn't have a near-death experience, and I know a lot of people didn't. I don't think that's what's causing it, but I will tell you this. I think that this is a spiritual thing that's happening. Now, if you're in a near-death experience, you're probably on the brink of being onto the spiritual side, so it would make sense to me that it would trigger something like that was ready to happen anyways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think there's like an individual thing that happens to you that causes it, because I think it's always happening amongst us, but I think you get to a point in your life and your understanding and your knowledge where you are, or not even that, you get to a point where you're capable of taking that in and not, you can actually handle it,
That's my thing.
We know that everybody sees it. That's the thing. There isn't anybody that doesn't see it. And there's this misconception of these unaffected people. I haven't met one yet. They're just deniers. That's it. They're only deniers. There are no unaffected people. So the people that don't understand it, cool. There's the deniers, cool. Everybody might have been a denier at one time, right? As long as they're not an asshole about it, it's cool, right? But the deniers, they're all affected. They're just not at the stage of accepting it yet. They know inside, though, but they're not accepting it, but they know.
Yeah, that's what I found out. My people work the same way. Everybody, I can't find somebody who's not affected. Well, they've got a memory. It's just that they're going to deal with it. They're like, yeah, I know, whatever. And they're going to go on with their life. Something changes in it. Something snaps. They're going to go back with their life. They're not going to dwell into it and say, well, we'll leave it at that. Yes, I remember that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, if you remember, I did that video about that. I believe that George Lucas has the Mandela Effect. Yeah. If you remember, I called the hospital where he almost had his near-death experience, where he basically died in a car wreck, whatever. Remember I telling you, I got to hold that doctor, not the doctor that worked on him, but somebody medical, and we were talking about. And this guy was cool. I can't give his name. He doesn't want to be embarrassed, but he was telling me about. I was asking him about Mandela Effect. He actually believes in it, and he said that it's not near death that was causing people to wake up. Is just like Brian said, it's always been there. But a lot of times when you get injured near death, you get a big injury, right? Yeah. You're recovering. You're sitting. You're not living in a fast lifestyle. Yeah. You have time to study. Just like me being laid off, I actually now have time to study these things, where before Bob will tell me something.
Everything's background noise because you're too preoccupied.
Yeah,
you hear magic mirror, you don't even think about it. But now you hear something, your ears perk up. Magic mirror, what the fuck is that? That's not going to slide,
So when you're injured, you have the opportunity to listen.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. And you're backing up that claim. I thought I learned about that.
Obviously, when you're injured or unemployed, whatever it is, you have time to research. Me, it was a breakup with a girlfriend. I was alone. I had a lot of time, and then I saw that 9/11 movie, and it sparked something, and then I was all in. That was it.
That's the way God works it, man. I've found that out. I call it the shopping cart effect, man. It's just you don't know when it's your time, and then God's like, it's your time. And usually it's something bad that has to happen before you get that time, which is sucks. Again, I was rushed out of the museum with fucking heart attack happening, and I was like, well, now after that, I didn't have anything to do but go back into the research and look more deeper into the Mandela effects. And I'm trying to find evidence and facts and figure out why.
You know what's fun about it is once you realize things are happening, things that have happened in the past, you're like, oh, that might explain it. Because I don't know, Brian, you don't know this story, but Bob didn't even know something happened. He found out a few years later. When I was a kid, we were hunting in the mountains. Yeah. And I had a gun in my hand, and I was aiming at a tree. It was a big fat tree. I was target practicing a tree.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, somebody goes, why did you shoot out your uncle's window?
Yeah.
I shot out his window. I was aiming at that tree. And then when I looked, it wasn't a big tree. It was a skinny ass tree. Of course I fucking missed a tree. But I was swearing that I did not fuck. That tree was huge. And a couple of later, Bob was at the camp.
I was at the camp.
Hey, Bob, you remember when your brother shot that tree? He did?
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not saying this explains it, but it was just like, some of the stuff I saw, maybe it really was something different. And somehow it changed on me. So sometimes waking up makes you remember.
Remember, I came here though. I came to Orion Spur that day. I joke about that. I came to Orion Spur that day because went off a 100-foot cliff on a motorcycle straight down. So I was down the cliff. I went straight off the cliff. My uncle, with 3 of us on a motorcycle, going up a hill, and a fucking boulder rolled down. We hit the boulder, and the bike flew off the edge of the 100-foot cliff, went straight down. So my uncle's down there with a broken neck down at the bottom. My cousin fell on him, which contributed to his broken neck, but he survived because he fell on him. Me, I hit the fucking side of the mountain and rolled around, and I caught a cliff hanger, and I mountain climbed my way back up as a little kid. Made it back to camp, and my dad says, "What the fuck happened?" I said, "We went off the cliff." And so my dad got on the old CB. Back in that day, there's no fucking cell phone. Called the old CB. The helicopters showed up, and my dad told me, "Shh, don't say a word." I didn't get a scratch. So he goes, "Go fishing with your uncle." This is the same day. So Eric's over here as a little kid with my dad addressing my uncle going off the cliff. Now Eric's a little kid, so he can't stay in camp. So he went with my dad to go with the helicopters and the Rangers to get my uncle out. Now he wasn't in camp. So it was me and my uncle fishing. And my uncle caught a fucking big ass, huge, weird reptilian looking fish out of the water. And he says, "We don't eat those, Bobby. We put that back. That's a lungfish." I said, "What's a lungfish, Uncle Johnny? Never heard of a lungfish." Put it back in the water. Now, meanwhile, Eric is with my dad, getting my uncle, our cousin out of the mountain. So that same day, Eric wasn't. He wasn't with my dad. He was in camp. I'm in camp. Just went off the cliff, standing with him in camp. He's shooting the BB gun, shot the fucking Volkswagen window out. Uncle Johnny was all pissed off. But that all happened in his timeline. But I was somewhere else. And he was with my dad. So we had a split memory on that day. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it happens. Some people, I felt like I got here because later on I worked at Smithsonian and I worked in the Natural History Museum in the vertebrate department. I was working with the fish. There's huge rooms filled with fish in jars, big jars, small jars, and I had to put alcohol in the water. You got to put a certain volume of alcohol to water mixture so they don't deteriorate in the jars. You know what I mean? They keep them fresh. Well, they're fresh, but keep them from deteriorating, breaking down the jars. You mix alcohol with the water. So I'm doing that, and I'm looking for the lungfish. So I'm like, where's this lungfish I saw when I was a kid? There's no lungfish. So I went and talked to the doctor. I said, I described the fish. He goes, "You're describing a coelacanth." I said, "I know what a coelacanth is. I'm talking about it's a smaller version of a coelacanth in freshwater." He goes, "Those haven't been around since the days of, way back when." I said, "I saw one, man. I saw one." He goes, "You're talking about the coelacanth." And I used to eat my lunch on the coelacanth. We pop it up. I go, "Looks just like it, too. Fucking coelacanth looks just like it." So, and I think that lungfish is here now in this timeline. I think it's here. I think it's in the waters. So I saw something. I think I came here to this place. We might want to call heaven. Yeah. I don't know what we want to call this place. I came here. That's 100%. I came here. And then went back to the yellow sun. When I was there, I remember the sky became overcast, and I don't remember the sun disappeared. It was a bright, hot, sunny fucking day, hot as shit. That day after the cliff, I come off the cliff, it's all cloudy. The sun is gone. The sun just mysteriously just disappeared. So I think I had jumped over here and then went back to the old Sagittarius Arm, to Ryan Spur to Sagittarius Arm, or wherever the fuck I went to. I died. Something happened. I think I died. I don't know.
Oh, this is cool. Eric Elliott just says, "I woke up after giving up drugs and alcohol and stopped taking pharmaceutical crap." Like I said, people wake up for different reasons, That's I just wanted to read that. That's pretty cool.
You got a lot. You got like 70, 80 people in here right now. So that's cool. So let me just make sure everybody that's here that followed me here, make sure you sub and bell, because these guys go live and have cool shows like this all the time.
Yeah. And Brian, you're always welcome to come on, man. We could probably rock the house. With the things that you know that I don't know, and the things that I know, we can always put together like a big ass plan. We could actually figure this some shit out.
Yeah, cool. That's what it's all about, dude.
Yeah. And I just want people to just come on here just to be relaxed and just have fun. We don't have to be like 100% super deep every single time.
Oh, but it's fun getting deep though. Any
It's fun, but it has. I want it to come naturally, not because we came up with something.
Yeah, you guys.
We're an hour in. I barely even touched on the Mandela Effect. I mean, whatever.
Well, listen, all the new change.
Talking about 9/11, the Iraq War, fucking Smithsonian.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it out. Let me throw it out. I just figured this out a day ago. I don't know if look, I don't look at everybody's stuff, so I don't know this. I'm not gonna give anybody credit for this because I don't know if anybody already discovered this. I just figured it out yesterday. Actually, it wasn't 100% me. Another Mandela affected person in England is one who asked me the question, and I go, "What?" So I'm not gonna take the full fucking credit for it. But I was with the person who discovered it at the time. We're both reading the same article. Okay, so you guys know Elon Musk, right? There's a Mandela effect with that for me. Elon Musk. Do you guys know his middle name? Because I've never heard of his. I never heard of him.
I know his middle name.
It's Jeeve, right?
No, his middle name is Reeve, like Christopher Reeve after he lost the S.
Yes, Reeve. I've never heard of him ever called Elon Reeve Musk until a day ago.
I heard it like within the last year.
Okay, so you have heard. I've never heard of his middle name before.
Yeah, no, I've heard it, and I'm like, oh, here we go. How convenient. His middle name is the Mandela Effect to Christopher Reeves without the S.
Yeah, that's what I got the same vision in my head like you. Of course, he put Reeves. I was Reeves because he used to be Christopher Reeves with an S.
Oh yeah, dude.
When I saw, I was like, Elon Reeves Musk, and the other person was like, no, Elon Reeve Musk. I go, oh, like fucking fake news Superman, you know?
Yeah.
This is an NBC News.
What is this?
Report. The trial of Donald J. Trump.
What is this?
Hey again, everyone. It's just after 2 o'clock in the East. We are back on the air to bring live coverage of the United States.
Holy shit, guys! Hold on.
Except its constitutional duty.
What the fuck just happened?
Of President Donald Trump.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had a channel pop up for no reason.
Wait, you played the devil. I heard the devil on. What?
I'm like, what just happened? We're getting all deep, and now we're going way back into politics. What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know. We just had ourselves a little bit of a weird thing happen.
I thought we were on Truth Frequency Radio for a minute with that commercial.
And I guess I'm still getting comments about some wrenches. Listen, after the show, I'll sign more wrenches. I don't want to do it during the show, so don't worry. I'll hand out some more wrenches. I didn't realize it was still that big.
Yeah, be careful with the wrenches because people remember I've had wrenches in the past that I've trusted. Then it turns out that these wrenches were actually they were blocking posts. Literally, yeah. I was like, how can I not have any posts? I was like, nope, like one post. They were people that I trusted. All of a sudden, were like twisted and they were like a shield that I would never have guessed, and they were like actually deleting posts. I was like, whoa, why are you doing this? They disappeared.
Rather than take a 5-minute break to smoke, I'm just going to switch over to my phone and take you on the porch with me. So I'm going to exit and I'm going to come back in on my mobile. You have to put me back in the stream, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'll pop back in right now.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to take a break, I understand we've already been on for an hour. So, Bob, if you got to take a break, get some coffee, go for it.
Oh, cool, man. Everybody just take a little break. Hold on. Yeah,
because usually, if anybody who watches this show, I don't go on. Usually, the hours is mostly 1 to 2 hours. I don't like to go really on past 2 hours because to me, after 2 hours, it's like I'm stretching, trying to find just things to talk about. I think people talk about natural things for an hour or two, but then going too long is just something.
Okay, I'm back. Here's O'Brien.
I guess I saw Brian's hood, so I didn't know if he wanted to be on or still want to be on paused.
What's up with the Thug Life, man? You got the Thug Life?
Thug Life? I used to love that CD.
I'm fucking with you because you got
So, if anybody, I'm guessing most everybody who's watching is new to this channel. I'm sure of it because usually I only average maybe up to 19 people watching. But if you do like the show, we do a show. We do a guarantee show every Tuesday at 11 because Bob lives in Manchester, UK. And, of course, I live in Seattle. So the time works out for both of us. And then sometimes on Thursday and Friday, if we're both free, we'll do a show. but Thursday and Friday aren't guaranteed. But shows on Tuesday is guaranteed every Tuesday at 11. I don't like to do a show every single day. I like to rest. You know, I don't want to burn people out. You know, and sometimes I'll do these fun videos. I don't know if you guys seen the one I put up last night. I put up a Joan Jett video last night. It was, you know, those kind of videos are for fun. I'm not trying to be 100% serious on those. They're kind of fun. They're just some memories that I have. So I take those memories and I just create a kind of a fun little 20-minute, 30 minutes. Usually I throw in clips. And then I asked Bob from the UK if he don't mind playing God or the devil on them. So don't take those shows like 100% serious. You know, do I try to have a message? Yeah. You know, somebody asked me somebody did ask me today, what was your message in the Joan Jett video?
Don't rape children.
So the message in that video is I remember her dying. Most people probably don't. That's fine. Most people remember her music being changed lyrically, but I remember her dying. And the message of where I was trying to get out is when you have kids or anybody, watch who you leave your kids with. I know people are religious. I know people want to trust when, you know, a man in a black suit. You want to trust the Pope. You want to trust your minister. You want to trust no one. Trust trust
not
no
here.
one because
not here.
Yeah, trust no one because, you know, in the 80s when they made movies like that, in the 80s and 90s, nobody took that shit seriously. Everybody turned their heads, like leaving kids with Michael Jackson. People knew the shit was going on, but nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
So really the message of that video last night is don't leave your kids with anybody. Don't let your fucking kids take a bath with your uncle. I know it's Michael J. Fox in the movie. I know. Don't let your kids sleep with family members. It's freaky. You don't do it. You know? And there was a scene in the movie where she's like, well, you must forgive him. No, don't forgive the son of a bitch who raped you, who touched your kids. Forgive people like that. So I'm just saying, trust has to be earned. Just like Rhonda Cherry just says right here. Rhonda, just type in, trust has to be earned. That is 100% true. And that was all the video was last night. It wasn't. I put a little funny stuff in it, and if I offend some people because I put a strip bar or strip club in there, that's because God sent me there. That wasn't my fault. Fucking God. Actually, it turns out to be Satan.
I'm just waiting for Brian to whip it out, man, and start taking a piss somewhere. I'm just waiting for the sound of that.
You're waiting for me to whip it out. We got that sound bite. You're dying to see that, huh?
It just looked to you like you're keeping it quiet.
I'm just getting resituated.
So
I'm waiting for the trickling water sound any second now.
So I apologize if I got a little political there about that stuff, but that's all those little fun little videos are. It's just don't trust nobody, man. And even if you listen to stuff on this show, you listen to stuff on Brian, Bob's show, anything you hear, you should always research it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be a clone all because somebody says something. Learn it, discover it, listen to it. When Brian talked about 9/11, he put something in my head that I never thought of. Like,
I didn't think about that.
Right. There was nobody came out. Nobody talked about it. I didn't know that. But I was doing my own research. Always do your research. And Bob, take over for a second. I got to let the Chihuahua outside. She's at the
talk to Brian about some cool shit. I'm going to let Brian know some fucking fun stuff about the Aerospace Museum and the planes you're talking about. And space, man. So you're going to love this shit. So in the Museum of Flight, we had a section. Now, you probably heard me already talk about this. We had an Operation Paperclip section. We had a major push all of a sudden at the last minute to get rid of the Operation Paperclip section.
Yeah.
And we were going, why would we do that? Why? This is NASA, the same fucking word. It's a Nazi. You know, those motherfuckers, whatever we want to call them, they were the ones building the rockets up and building all the fucking stuff. Now we're getting rid of that section. You're like, why? It makes no sense to get rid of. And then I tell people I work with the whole crew models. These are models that this one fucking guy did. He was a surgeon. He made all these models of Nazi planes, Nazi jets, all the Nazi things, and they never went to production. The schematics were there. So these docents and these Boeing docents guys and these ex-NASA guys that were docents in the museum were going after these schematics. They wanted to have these planes made. So they made these weird-ass planes that they had them on schematics only with the Nazis. They never put to production. And we have these funkadelic airplanes from Germany, from their Nazi schematics for planes. These planes were made, and they were crazy-looking planes with crazy engines and crazy styles. You name it, 4 or 5 wings, man. Fucking one single wing, one disc. They even have it look like a disc, like a UFO disc. All these things were what the Nazis were supposed to make during the war, but they didn't quite make them. They had so many fucking designs. But we have thousands of designs. So I had all these models. And so I'm looking at the models during the Mandela Effect period of time. This is around 16, 17, all the way up past 17, then to 18. But these planes were becoming real in front of my eyes. These planes were on, the technology on these planes that were not put into production were all of a sudden appearing on these planes that we have now. So I'm like, oh, I remember that wing shape. That wing shape on an old Nazi plane.
Yeah.
The old Nazi plane had the curled up wings.
Yeah, like on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a design out of Germany. It was a German design. Certain planes with the flatter engines, German design. I saw the fucking models, and now they're appearing on American planes. So again, back to the influences, European influence all of a sudden took over American technology in this timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at Germany is like in the middle of this shit. I mean, everything, all the historical shit. I mean, all the ties, the attacks on America, the whole layout of the fucking country over there. I mean, everything about it's different. For me, the swastika used to be fucking straight, like the rest of the swastikas, and a lot of people don't resonate with that. I don't know how. It's at a fucking 45-degree angle now, dude. That's insane to me.
It's insane. That's one of the first things that freaked me the fuck out when I went back to work. 2016, around June, I had this weird ass shift, major shift happen. I'm saying June. I'm guessing the date. But it's 2016, around June-ish, I walk into my workplace and everything abruptly was changed. The fucking swastika, we had a sign of it. All the planes had swastika. The swastika planes, all the swastikas were inverted. And I was like, what happened to the fucking swastikas? The guy I work with for years, I said to him, dude, what happened? I've been going, what the fuck happened to the swastikas? I would be the one to change it. He goes, what are you talking about, Woody? I said, the swastikas, man. The swastikas have inverted. He goes, what are you talking about? They've always been this way.
Oh, my God.
I said, no, they haven't. No, they have not been this way. I went over to look at the medals. The Medal of Honor is upside down. The star is upside down. The Medal of Honor, upside down.
Really?
Yeah, it's upside down. People,
I didn't know that.
There's a Mandela effect for you. And so it's upside down. And then the American flag that's on the arm of military now is backwards.
Yeah, I know. It's like mirrored the sideways the other way.
It's backwards.
Well,
I was like, that was not on my uniform.
I put you up, Bob, because we got to talk about this freaking message from Joe Mama. He said this is disturbing. He says, we just determined a while ago on the show that Brian's dick fits where exit only host lives. Times to change subjects.
Damn.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was an important message. I had to say that. Apparently, he fits every hole there is.
Yeah,
I had to bring that up.
Let's not put that down because with the larger rectums, I'm sure Brian can. If he wants
I'll fucking slide my leg fucking knee deep right up your rectum. It's still fucking wide now.
He could practice the soft noodle technique if he wanted to. It's fine in the timeline. It's okay. If he wants to roll with it, I'm highly offended by the language in here. talk about it's just apparent to me that the Nazis, for some reason, people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I'm just saying, based off the evidence that I'm looking at, it's plausible that somehow that the Nazis won the war in this timeline. I remember when Donald Trump was Scottish proud. He was I'm proud Scottish. Next thing you know, I'm hearing this fucker talk about how he's German proud. He's never been German proud. He never mentioned being German proud. When all of a sudden is he German proud? And then the fucking Windsors, whatever the fucking royal family here in England, they're German. They're a German people. They even had in this timeline a fucking a cousin of theirs, a duke or whatever the fuck he was, who went over to work with the Nazis as the agricultural officer, the agricultural head of agriculture in Germany. A British royal went to work with Nazis, and that's changed. And a lot of things here in England, the history of the war in World War II is completely changed.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of fucking Nazi influence. Now, am I saying that they built the Glocke and the damn thing worked? I don't know. Possibly, maybe it's plausible now. Was there time travel that was actually done? Who knows? Maybe so. It's plausible. Maybe these certain whatever bullshit things, which I think are bullshit, but I know how the technology works and the concept of it works. It's like when you build the first computer, it's about the size of 3 fucking huge warehouse rooms. But then over time, over like maybe 50 years, it becomes something you hold in your fucking hand. Your computer now is in your hand. Who's to say they didn't build something like that?
The historical changes are what interest me the most, you know. And you need the small changes like the media and the music and all that to kind of get people in. But man, the way history's all changed. How about the whole role that women have now, like going way back in the military and all this, is fucking fighter pilots and this. And then there's Torpedo Alley with 5,000 people dead off the coast of North Carolina, and we lost like 500 ships. And to the Germans, these German U-boats. And then there's people that would say to me, well, you know, that they just made that up. That's just a Wikipedia entry. That event never really happened. Well, there's actually video that I showed of scuba divers going down to the wreckage of those boats years ago.
Okay, so yeah, talk about that, man. We'll share that on the show. You tell me about the East, and I can tell you what I know about my certain things, but you've been keeping with the changed history, like the actual, especially the East Coast with the goddamn. We all know about Ellis Island, and we all know about the Statue of Liberty fucking moving itself over to another fucking I've never heard of before. So you're actually the East Coast, the things that happened. So the Nazis invaded the East Coast.
They actually say that the biggest part of the war was fought off the coast of North Carolina now. Yeah, and it's called Torpedo Alley, and I have it on my Mandela Effect short list. I don't do tons of short videos. I do long streams like this because I don't like to just go and put out every new effect. That's not, you know. I have like my top 30 basically now. It's come to 30 videos where I focus on one, I break it down. I have one on Torpedo Alley, and now in this timeline, there was a time when 8 German submarines came over. This story is insane. Wait till you hear this. 8 German submarines came over. They sat out like only a few hundred feet off the coast. They picked off over 5,000 people and killed. They sank 400 to 600 of our ships. Okay, 5,000 dead, mostly civilians, and we've never heard of this. And also, when the battle stopped, because we know we didn't lose the war, even though we were getting our ass kicked, we might be losing it soon. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow it'll be that we lost the war. But somehow we won the war, and there was a hero on I forget the name of the ship that he was on, but it was one of our few ships that survived, made it to the end or whatever. And you know what who the hero was? The hero was a dog. And guess what the dog's name is? The hero of Torpedo Alley. What? The dog's name is Sinbad.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
Oh, that's a good one.
And then when you go and you look, I put this in the video too. Back to Germany again, because we're talking about Germany. So I'm trying to look at the connections between Sinbad and Germany. There's a fucking particle accelerator in Germany, in Hamburg, Germany. The acronym, they have it spelled out as Sinbad, the particle accelerator. And when you look at the acronym and break down the words, it doesn't even say Sinbad. It would be like Sybad, but they just use like the first 2 letters from one name, so it would make it say Sinbad.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Yo, you gotta see the dog. This dog. Do you remember Conan O'Brien had that comic relief dog on his show?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that dude. There's videos, black and white videos of him. He's got medals of honor on his neck, dude. He's smoking cigars. They're bringing him out to the bar and shit, dude. They're laughing at us.
Send that link to that video for Eric so we can include it in the posting on this one. So you can put it in the post. So people will watch this video and then go to your video and then see the history of that. Now we have to go into the details. That's fucking good, man, because I want to see it. So put it in the link. So send it to Eric, and then that way we can put it in the post. I want to see. That's hilarious, man. That did not happen. I was in the Navy. I would know. When you're in the Navy and you're in boot camp, you got to learn the history. You got to learn naval history. So you're hitting the hard hitting ones, and there was no mention of that alley of whatever the fuck that is. It's no, man.
Torpedo Alley. I'm getting the link right now.
Good. Put it on Eric so people can see it. I mean, put it in the sidebar so people can go to that one. I know there was a lot of U-boats. There was U-boats in the Atlantic that tried to make its way to the States.
Yeah.
And we held up pretty damn good.
Yeah, now they made it, though. They buried us. They killed 5,000 people just off North Carolina.
Oh, God damn. They even blew up. I guess they fucked around with the Statue of Liberty. Was it? I heard they did that.
Oh, well, that's my biggest Mandela effect is Black Tom. I mean, because all my 9/11 research, never once did you ever hear, you were always told that 9/11 was the second foreign attack on U.S. soil. Pearl Harbor was the first. And now in 1916, 2 German spies snuck in through New Jersey, blew off 100,000 pounds of fucking TNT, did what would be 500 million in today's money in damage, just blew out all the windows in Manhattan, killed 5, injured 120, and damaged the Statue of Liberty so bad that nobody's ever been to the Torch.
There we go.
And we've talked to many people that have been to the Torch, and to think that no matter what your views are on 9/11, no matter what side of the fence you sit on, they would shove that fucking patriotism down your throat about how the Statue of Liberty was attacked so long ago. It was never mentioned.
It was
he's talking about Statue of Liberty, Bob. Tell him about the history of the Statue of Liberty. Tell him.
Brian, this is hilarious, man. So I'm doing research. This is all random shit. Just everything is, like you said, down to GDP, whatever. Random information. So I'm doing research on my family. Now I'm doing research on the Wood family. Now, people understand out there, especially you, Brian, look at your past, look at your family's past, because it's changed. Our family's past has changed. And research on that the Statue of Liberty is on that, was it Freedom Island or whatever it is? It's on Wood Fort.
Yeah, I know, Fort Wood.
Fort Wood.
It's a star fort.
That's relative. I did. Who is this person? And it turns out it's one of our relatives.
What?
Our Wood. Yeah. Yes, it's one of our relatives. It was named after one of our relatives.
Wow.
Wood Fort is named after one of our relatives. The Statue of Liberty is on Wood Fort, and it's one of our relatives, blood relatives. Like, I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I get a hold of Eric. Eric, dude. Statue of Liberty is on fucking our relative's fort. It's named after our relative. Eric's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I knew we were involved, but I didn't know how far we were involved.
Yeah, and check it out. It's a star fort. It's named Wood Fort, and it's named after one of our fucking relatives. One of the first officers to die during the fucking big ass war, or whatever war they had, whatever. Right out of the fucking academy, he dies. He's an officer, and it's Wood. It is, I forget his fucking first name, but he's a relative. We're related. And so I was like, dude, the Statue of Liberty is now on Wood Fort. And then I went and found out I was in Paris. To keep going with the wood theme, I was in Paris, and the Mona Lisa is now painted not on canvas no more, Toto. She's painted on wood.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I keep having her name bounce up. Now, it's just a synchronicity. That's all it is. But there was a lot of woods this, wood that. I was like, dude, I found another wood. found another wood chain some weird ass way. But so I wanted to show the Statue of Liberty. We got a little bit to say on that one. It used to be that the first families that came to the States, they had an electric box, like a little electronic box at the bottom on Ellis Island of the Statue of Liberty, back when she was holding with her other hand, the torch with the other hand, and it was electric. You could put in the first families. You could type in and find the first families that got to the States. And one of those families was ours. The Wood family was one of the first families to come to the United States. So that was on my bucket list, to go find that fucking box and look in that history box where all the first families that came to the States. There. Even then, it's on Woodfort. So it's like, there's the evidence. The family was here. It's now a fucking star fort.
I know, that's crazy.
Now, Brian's amazing. Where is Brian at now? One moment he was at his house. Are you at work?
Me?
Yeah, you did a lot of great walking. Where'd you go?
No, I'm back in my room. This is where we started. I'm just going to home. I'm about to take you back outside, though.
That's hot.
You got a cigarette.
You're my exercise right now.
Yeah, I'm really out of breath. I have to smoke a cigarette, man.
The other thing too, yeah. Well, we were talking about the statue, and we were talking about earlier about the Bible getting the gender confusion and everything. And look what's happened to the statue, how masculine it's become.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's a man now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me say this again. I talked about this the other day. Let's say this one more time. A lot of people are screaming tranny. They're screaming tranny. Now, from an anthropological point of view, if you look at your own body and look at the bodies we have here, we've got a whole new set of fucking bones. All our shit has changed. So women look more masculine skeletal wise. Like women's skeletal is very different.
Do you think DNA is a hoax?
Well, DNA is not a hoax. It depends on,
Somebody wrote that in a comment. I was just asking you. It says DNA is a hoax. Check into it.
It's biological programming. It's basically it's how you're going to look. It's your programming, like you did a computer. It's how you're going to look. So the skeletal structures here in this timeline are more robust. Those are larger. Chests are bigger. Pelvises have changed. Legs have changed.
Yeah,
So
the hips are different. The feet look different. We have extra muscles on the back of our calves. It looks like our sternum. We know our heart's protected by our sternum more now. I mean, there's just all sorts of shit.
Correct. So when you see a guy looks kind of natural, but when you see a woman, that same kind of structure, our eyes, our brain are used to seeing the women back home on Sagittarius' arm. They were frail. They look frail, but now you're looking at women and you're like, that's got to be a guy. No, it's not always a guy. It's just a woman with a big-ass, robust new frame that we're not used to seeing. Yeah. So when they talk about she's a tranny, Hollywood stars are trannies. No, they're not trannies. You're just seeing them in a new skeleton.
Yeah.
Well, Brian has to keep walking because he's helping Rhonda Cherry. She wrote, Gypsy, that was good. He can exercise for both of us. You're giving a lot of people exercise. So you got to keep going, Brian.
Put that out there for people. Remember when you start calling people tranny, be careful because they might just be a girl with the new frame that you're just not used to seeing. They look like men because of the frame. I know they're women. I know everyone says Brock was Michael. I believe that's a man. But as an example of a man, and then you can't tell between a woman tranny and a tranny anymore. I can't tell of a woman and a tranny anymore. They literally look the same now. It used to be really different because the women's frames were much frailer and men's were much broader. And now they're both broad. So I'm like, you go to a bar, you got to be careful. You don't know. Like, are you a woman or a man? I can't tell. You got to ask.
This guy's a question because I see this word a lot, and I know Brian and Crow touch upon it, but I didn't get to hear everything about flat Earth. Brian, are you believe that the Earth is flat, or do you believe that the Earth is round? I didn't get to hear that part of your guys' meeting, your interview.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me come back inside. Hold on.
Because I think that's an interesting topic, and I didn't really get to hear it all. I thought I could hear it maybe here.
No, all right. First, I'll start off with what the Earth definitely is not. The Earth is definitely not a ball spinning. It's not darting through space. We don't live in an ever-expanding, godless universe, and we're not insignificant. And that's what's important, and that's what they want to hide from us, okay? That's why they promote this lie. As far as we can observably see, and any way we can measure, it is flat across all the large oceans. We can see cities that are so many miles away that we should not be able to see. Now, if I tell you that it doesn't turn into some other shape or something off areas I can't explore, I'd be lying to you. I don't know what happens out past a certain point. Never mind past Antarctica, like people say. They don't even let you go lower than like the 65th parallel. So what's out there? I don't know. But I know that the Earth isn't moving. It's not spinning. And I know that it's not a fucking ball. And I know that we're not insignificant. Hang on. I'm still going. But let me go in my room. Somebody's home. And I also know, and people get really triggered by this topic. And see, I don't understand what's so triggering. Like, because if you would just look, okay, you don't, this is my point with people. You don't have to come to the same conclusion as me, but you have to not accept being lied to. And if you look at anything that NASA's done, any of their imagery, any of their alleged technology, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. And the extent at which the lie has been, it's huge. I mean, all these nations are involved. It's indoctrinated through every movie, through everything that your kid sees from the time they first get into school. Every classroom has a globe. So it's obviously hugely important. Now, it's up to every person that goes on the journey why it's important to them, because there's a whole bunch of agendas. If there's people that are just materialistic, well, then you can say, hey, they're stealing $60 million a day from you, a day from your tax money. Never mind all the other industries involved. You know, it's not just NASA. It'd be Boeing. It'd be the whole network. They're stealing so much money. So if it's material things that matter to you, you go with that. But if the people are on a more spiritual side, well, they're lying to you about creation. They're lying to you about pushing evolution lies. All of this is all tied into the heliocentric globe lie.
Heliocentric,
so it's important to go on that journey. I don't want anybody to come out of, I don't want anybody to hear, just shut the door, I'll be right there. All right? I don't want anybody to hear the, my views on 9/11 and then say, oh, well, I'm a 9/11 no planet because Brian said this and that, or I'm a flat earther because Brian said this and that. I kind of fell into that a little bit for a while, but I think having a label's bad because then you get associated with a bunch of other people and you get boxed into certain ideas. Like people say, oh, you're a flat earther. So they used to say this to me, oh, you're a flat earther. So you think the sun's 3,400 miles away. Well, actually, no, I don't think that either. I actually think it's closer. But I don't. So I just like to be me. I'm just me. But yeah, I do agree with most of the stuff that, you know, the people I would consider more intelligent in the flat earth community agree with. I would agree with that. Everything that NASA has done is completely fake. Yeah. Everything that people think is science from them is just theoretical fucking nonsense. And the other important thing to remember when people say, oh, well, it works out, the math works out. You can build any false model you want and make the math back it up. They're just fucking numbers. Of course the numbers are going to fit. That's like if I told you I had a fucking flying car and I'm going to go from Boston to LA and my car goes 3,000 miles an hour. So that means I'll be there in an hour. And, you know, it gets fucking 1,000 miles, you know, it gets 2,000 miles a tank or whatever. You know, I could tell you all these things and show you a picture of the construction of the car and this and that. And the numbers all work. Does that mean I really have a flying car? No.
Well, you know, that car in space. I mean, everyone has to pick one of 1,000 things against the Tesla car. I always see the simple one. I've changed my brakes. I had to repack the bearings. Bearings have a lot of fucking grease in the bearings. They have a temperature. Each grease or whatever you have has a temperature where it's going to explode into flames. And so when you pack your fucking bearing grease and you're doing your fucking brakes, now this go back to Tesla's car's tires in space facing the sun at a certain temperature, the fucking tires would shoot like a shot. They would shit a bearing grease and catch fire and blow the fuck up. We could argue the cows come home about the windows shattering with hot and cold side. The plastic dash would melt. The tape. There's a tape that's playing Rocket Man in the fucking tape deck. The tape is a tape. Now it's a tape.
Yeah.
What's little piece of tape made of? Can you hold that tape over by a cigarette, and how fast does it melt? Now it's in the dash, it's in the radio console. It's bullshit. The whole thing it's so over the top fake that they literally are fucking with us.
How do people follow that guy, that Enron guy? I don't get it.
And if people want to know what I think one of the main agendas, it's control. It's about keeping us in control. It's never been about killing us all. It's they do what they need to do to keep us in control. And by us not knowing where we live, dude, they could be hiding. We don't. Only people that think flat Earth is stupid are people that haven't looked into it. Once you look into it, you see there's a lot there. You might not agree with everything, but you're going to see that there's actually way more there. And you won't be able to debunk it. And you'll start to see that everything science has told you about where we live, the nature of this reality, it's all a fucking lie. And it goes to every industry because it goes to all the things that they hike prices up in, like all these resources like oil and diamonds and all this. That shit's plentiful. The earth reproduces all that shit. But they'll tell people that shit, they think some of their fuel comes from fucking dinosaur fossils, dude. I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? That's as dumb as the car.
I've researched all of that. I've been in the field. I've been in every field you can think of. And back home, though, I always stress this. Back home, it was different, and the math was different. I woke up, and I was scratching my head going, this is bullshit. I'm looking around at the map. I've been to Australia. I was a helmsman, man. I was in the Navy, and I fucking steered my ass to Australia. It was a long-ass fucking trip. It's right there by Japan. I mean, it's like nothing makes any sense on this fucking. Now, I don't say flat Earth. Now, people understand. I always say back of the turtle. And you can appreciate that joke. I just say the back of the turtle. That way, I don't ping any fucking algorithm and say, oh, another flat earther. I say on the back of this turtle, geocentric model, I like to call it, things don't seem correct.
Bro, Brian's not telling us something.
Well,
Brian's keeping something from us, Bob. According to Joe Mama says Brian owns the Tesla Space Roadster, so he really does have a flying car.
You own
only briefly, and that would be if you push it off over the cliff.
Dude,
apparently,
let me say this: fuck Elon Musk and fuck his car in space.
Elon Musk is a joke. He's fraud. Dude, now remember, and I keep telling people this one too, to add to your argument, you can use whatever I say. Please use whatever I say. When I was at the museum, they've got the book in. I go, what book? Elon Musk's science novel, his science fiction book. I go, his dad, Von Braun. No, Von Braun's science fiction book. I go, Von Braun didn't write a science fiction book, man. Where the fuck did this show up? Mandela Effect. Here it is. So we have the fucking book. And I'm like, what did he say in his fucking book? Well, his son, or the great emperor Elon, is going to rule Mars. Elon's going to be the emperor of Mars. I go, Elon, like Elon Musk.
Yeah,
because when I know. There was no Elon. All that time I worked at the Museum of Flight, we had nothing from Elon Musk. Nothing. It was Brandon. What's his name? Something Brandon. He was another billionaire.
Yeah, the Virgin Galactic guy.
Virgin Galactic. So we had his stuff, and we set up the space exhibit for his stuff. And the way his technology was, now listen to this. His idea was not to go into space because he already knew there was no space. His ship was going to go up by rocket or by whatever. It's going to go up to the atmosphere where it's going to be suspended and then come down. Basically a roller coaster. There was no space in nothing written up about him going in any other area but going up to a certain area and then coming down. That was it. So all his stuff was set up in the fucking museum. That was it. The old fucking Virgin Records dickhead. That's all we had. All of a sudden, in 2016 to 17, Elon Musk's stuff was coming in. I go, who's he? Who's Elon Musk? Well, fill me in on this fucking guy I never heard of. I've never heard of him in the space industry. I've never heard of him, period. So now we have his stuff coming in. His ideas, his SpaceX. What is SpaceX? What the fuck? We're all scratching our heads. in the Museum of Flight, people had been working there for years, as long as I have, in aeronautical fucking bullshit going.
Yeah, like in the industry, like you get people talk, like, how do you not hear about something like that? Hey, by the way, there's a private space company.
So we're bringing in his stuff, and I go, what stuff do we have from this mysterious guy? It's Elon. I go, Elon from the fucking book, from Von Braun's book? Is that who we're dealing with? Is he going to fucking Mars? Sure enough, he's going to Mars. I go, this is bullshit. This is coming out of the book. This motherfucker bullshit. And people at my old workplace were looking at his face. Now, I have to say it's plausible that if you look at Elon Musk's face and you look at Von Braun's face, they look similar. I'm saying it, I'm not saying, but I'm going to say it's plausible that some people were saying that it looks like his son. Like his son, like his biological son that was hidden away.
Maybe.
Yeah, if you look at his face, look at I call him Dollface. Elon Musk. Look at Dollface's face, and then look at Von Braun. They got the same. I'm like, they do look alike. It's like if you took Von Braun and made it gay and kind of retarded, you would have Elon Musk.
Hey.
It's kind of weird like that. I just want to throw it out there. People that look at Elon Musk's face, and people in my workplace were saying, that's his son.
Well, most people agree because everybody in the chat believes the Earth is flat, and everybody in the all thinks Elon now, except for Permanent. He's saying he's real. He come out. He doesn't think it's real, does he?
Well, I mean, I used to think space is real, but not anymore. I've got a telescope. And I'm looking up the old stars I used to look at. I'm not seeing the same thing.
Well, that's what I heard. What's his name? Crow 777 talk about looking at a scope and looking for like meteorites and stuff that's not seeing where he was supposed to be seeing things. So that was very interesting on that show he had the other day.
Yeah, I couldn't really get him into the Mandela Effect. I tried. But
you tried.
I already knew his take on it. I already knew that's the attitude he was going to have. But I already know he's affected. His listeners tell me once he's been affected on, and that's why I brought it up. But I was already 2 hours deep in the interview. Now, when I talked to him before the show, I says to him, "How long do you have?" He said, "Well, I can go for whatever." I said, "Oh," and I told him the interview is usually like 3 to 5 hours, something long. He's like, "Oh, well, I can give you 2." I'm like, "Yeah, just try to give me at least 2." So once we hit 2. We were already at over 2 hours, and then I didn't want to aggravate him by trying to hit him with too much Mandela when I seen he wasn't interested. So I kind of just let it be, and I got another hour out of the interview. Whereas if I tried too hard, I feel like the interview might have ended sooner.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. And not everyone's going to be down for.
You're good at reading people, and that's important.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny you said that because when I was talking to Bob before you came on, I was telling him about that interview that I could tell when Brian was talking about the Mandela Effect, he kind of was dancing around it a little bit. But he still came on. That's the good part. I mean, he was confident on what he believed in. He never backed away from it. But I also like when he said that, but he likes when people listen. Have a good conversation, not like these fucking trolls that says all this shit in your text and all that, and you ask them to come on to prove it, and they don't.
Yeah.
Will come on.
There were a lot of people. There were almost 400 people live in the chat yesterday. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, there were a lot of people.
How do you read all those clips? How do you read all those?
Hey, miss.
A lot of Musk and Von Braun are related through the Barbara Bush. Alistair Valley connection. They're all just bad actors and satanic sellouts. Well, what's her name? The German chancellor, Merkel. She looks like Hitler.
Well, I agree with Raven Stage. Ellen and her look like rubber dolls. They do. They look fake.
They look fake.
So fucking fake.
Yeah, Elon Musk has been trying to show himself up as somebody from an interdimensional, like he's a computer. I'm watching Mastermind, and the guy acts like he's a working computer. He's pretending.
He uses his money as power. Like, look at me. Look how much I'm worth. You have to believe me.
Actor.
And, he is an actor, and it's like that. It's like that old thing. Remember, I talked about it before. Like you and Brian You both of you guys have the gift of talk. You guys can talk. You guys have the gift. You can talk to people about how a rock is your best friend in the whole world. A piece of rock.
Rock's my only friend.
Yeah, only friend. I don't have that gift, but because I don't have that gift, it still doesn't mean I don't have something to say.
Yeah.
Because you have fucking money and all that, it doesn't mean you're 100% correct. And it seems like it's like Kardashians. All these young people love the Kardashians, love these all because they got fucking money. It's like it's bullshit. These fucking people are so fucking fake.
I can't take any more of a trout mouth, man. All the women have trout mouth. All the females have trout mouth. Please, if you're a woman out there, please stop with the trout mouth. Stop injecting your lips. Stop it.
Now, I'm not saying everything that comes out of my mouth is true. I always tell people research everything. You know, I hear the word flat Earth. I want to ask Brian his opinion, and now I want to research it. I want to learn more about it because I never really thought about the Earth and the flat. I never thought about that part. But when I heard that message, you know what? I want to check more into it. Kind of like the 9/11. This is why I love this show. I can hear things I never heard really before, and then now it's up to me to look into the evidence, make that final judgment for myself. And I wish everybody was like that. I remember, Bob, you heard this story. There was this channel on fucking YouTube. I'll say their fucking channel's name. This channel's called True Love channel, right? They had an episode says false memories. I'm like, check this out.
Boy.
Check this out. And they were just bashing people, right? They were just bashing. So I go on there and make a nice little comment. Hey guys, you should have more of an open mind because we really don't know what's out there. We don't know what's going on. It's the same thing like if you believe in religion. Some people say that's fake. Just have an open mind. And they're all like fucking like beating me up like you fucker, you get the fuck out. I'm like, listen. And then I offer this person to, hey, how about come on my show and let's talk about it why you think false memory is not fake. No, I'll never go on your fucking show. I'm like, well, for a person who named their channel True Love, it's not really true love. It's like me call myself Gypsy Road, Journey into the Unknown, but I'm a channel making shirts. I'm making sweaters. You're calling yourself True fucking Love and you're spreading hate?
I've seen that show.
What the fuck is that?
I've seen her. She looks like she's military. She got a military haircut. I'm not joking. Most girls have like longer hair or certain styles of hair. Women that are in the military, they do a certain high and tight. They have to, or not high and tight, but they do a certain thing when they put their hair up. You can't have it on your neck. I was looking at her. That girl looked like she's military. I can tell you guys right now that there are military opposition out there. They are in the service, and they're kind of whatever ops you want to call them. And they're deliberately out there with their whatever haircuts, and they're just trying to throw everyone off or spin you. Get you in a spin. They're trying to get you in a spin. And they're putting out sites like that deliberately to get you upset. Like putting a face on there makes you mad. It's easy.
I just can't respect people who say this shit, and when you offer them to have a conversation with you, and they don't take it. It's like, stand by what you believe in, and let's just talk about it. I'm not going to bash you on the show. Just tell me what you think, why you think this. I'll thank you for your time, and I'll tell you why I think this, and that the people watching make the final judgment.
No.
Nobody wants to do it. It's like I get all these pastors. I want them to come in and talk about the Bible changes and all that. I got one guy said he will, and we're trying to set up a time for that pastor to come on so we can talk about the Bible, the changes. What's his opinion about it?
Yeah, I want to know about bear shit.
Not to have him come on so I can try to make fun of him. No, I want to hear his opinion why he thinks the Bible's not changing.
I would ask the Christians. I would say the Christians, don't you guys know, man, bear shit's in the Bible now. And they get mad at me. They start fuck you, and I go, I'm not being rude, man. I'm just saying bear shit's in the Bible now.
Yeah.
They start throwing things. They won't talk to me. I said, what? Bear shit's in the Bible. Bear shit's on the moon, too. Nobody listen to me. Bear shit's on the moon. Bear shit's in the Bible. I'm just saying.
Oh, those two Mormons, Bob? Those two Mormons, the guy you broke? The other guy came back.
Oh, did he?
He came back with somebody else, But it's like, oh, where's that? He knocked on the door.
Both came back to different people to debate me.
And after we just did a show, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. Not today. But he keeps on coming back, but the same person that you broke never came back.
Yeah, thank God that guy didn't come back. Yeah, I broke one. So he saw the Bible, he saw the changes, he looked at his book, he said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. He probably never went back to that church again. He's probably got the spin right now. He's in a spin cycle going, what happened to my Bible? What happened to the Bible?
But this person says, want to learn something interesting? He wrote Galileo Copernicus.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce words right. And, hey, dog, the dog's getting in front of the computer. Are affectionately Freemason buried in a Mason cemetery. So literally, Freemasons created the heliocentric model. It's all public info.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, it is 100% correct. The Pope himself. I mean, he's a Jesuit. They're Jesuits.
Oh, yeah.
They're Jesuits. I mean, it is what it is. They're Jesuits, and Jesuits are going to keep the lie going. They're going to keep the status quo. You can't control the people. Well, when Yeshua was killed, motherfucker was gone. He came in there telling the rabbis, telling the priests that he's the king. He should be the rightful king. David come from the fucking line of David. Full fucking honors, the whole thing. He's got the right to be king. They don't want a king. The Jewish community, the Israelites, they don't want a king. Not the people. The rabbis, the priests, they don't want a king. That's why he died. And so they moved forward into the Jesuit light. They're keeping things under control, keeping things exactly where they're supposed to be, keeping the status quo going. They don't want a king. They don't want to keep things going where the elites can play and have fun here in Babylon, wherever the fuck we are. Babylon, everything's upside down, fucking green lighted on the bottom. So they're in Babylon. We're all kicking it in Babylon. Now, I made a joke about the rockets. To me, in symbology, the Tower of Babel was a tower they tried to build to God. Try to build it to God. So I see the rocket program. The rocket program is the same thing. You're building a tower to God, except this tower is going to go up with fucking propulsion. I doubt if it's fossil fuel. It's probably hydrogen. They won't tell you about hydrogen fuel, but it's hydrogen going up. The rocket to God, and then God's gonna blow it fuck up, probably knocking all the fucking rockets down every time they go up. Shit coming back down. They're showing it land, and Brian, you know it ain't landing. You can see CGI like I could see CGI.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a joke. You get mad. You gotta hold yourself from fucking getting too angry. You can see the motherfucker's fake coming down. It's
ridiculous.
Platform.
They don't even burn fucking holes in the ground. They got these, they're supposedly slowing these perpendicular rockets down. It's so fucking ridiculous.
So fucking fake. And all of a sudden the camera goes blank right before it touches the fucking thing. I said every time, this is not real. This is not real. This is a CGI. CGI. The best CGI you can fucking pay for. And if the United States government and you and me and all our tax dollars are going to fucking Elon Musk's pocket, so he can go out and buy fucking young children, so he can build CGI fucking rocket ships, so he can do whatever he wants. So Space Force can, is the next wave of the fucking future on Mars and all these other fake ass planets. Bullshit. In fact, people don't even know this, but Donald fucking Trump, which thinks he's the fucking next Messiah, is trying to buy Greenland. Yeah. Everyone's why, Brian? You could probably figure this out. Why would you want to buy Greenland?
Well, Greenland would be the easiest pass to get through towards whatever's at the North Pole. That's for sure.
Well, also, now only reason why I'm saying this, and I'm saying this because I was an exhibits guy. I made exhibits. Now I made the at the museum. I made the substrate for Mars, red rocks, high mafic iron. Red rocks, high iron.
Oh yeah, for filming out there. That's what they've been doing. Yeah,
it's to be to later on. This is what I'm seeing going on. They successfully send a rocket ship with a crew to Mars. Now it's in space with super CGI, just like a movie. It lands. Now these cocksuckers are going to Greenland where they've already got an area mapped out. Looks like Mars. That's where they're filming. It looks like Mars in Greenland.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Shit, practices are fucking. We know that from my workplace, 100%. That they go to fucking Greenland to practice their fucking all their stuff. So they're gonna go to Greenland. They're gonna have these guys in suits, like reality TV in Greenland. You know, it's got gravity, so you're gonna see them stomp. You know, they're gonna be able to. You know, it's gonna be easy to fake. They're gonna have the fucking things built up. They're gonna live inside there. These guys are going to live there for probably like 3 years in Greenland. Yeah, they're gonna outside of living in there for the show. They're gonna take their fucking things off. They're gonna go live in some fucking cabin somewhere and all have a big old party, whatever, and normal street clothes in Civi. Then in the morning, getting up early, putting on their uniforms, they're gonna go back to the little stage area in Greenland.
Back to Mars.
Back to Mars, and they're gonna walk around like they're on the substrate of Mars. Now, how do we know this? Because why is Donald Trump so interested in buying Greenland?
Well, and they've already been caught filming up there. There's already been landscape that's been exactly matched to landscape on Mars. That's exactly the same landscape that's in Greenland, and they just changed it into the photography. I mean, they're already there.
Yeah. So why don't the public, why don't all of us send a letter to Donald Trump and say, why are you buying Greenland, man? What's in Greenland that's so important for you to own? We have to own Greenland. Why? Because they don't want if once the United States owns Greenland, then our United States force can keep everybody out.
Yeah.
The Space Force soldiers can keep everybody out of Greenland. They're going to keep everybody out. There's nobody going to be allowed to cross over Greenland or go into Greenland because it's going to be a secret ass little fucking. They might even have Elon himself wearing a little fucking outfit, walking around on fucking Greenland, pretending he's on Mars.
Yeah, he's got to get blown up. Hey,
himself.
Brian, you have a show tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually have to go in a few minutes. I was about to tell you that because I had to go.
That's why I was bringing it up, because usually at the 2-hour mark is usually when I end the show, because I don't like to go super far because I feel like we're running out of things. So your show's tonight at what time?
Probably at either 8 or 9 Eastern.
8 or 9 Eastern. Okay.
Yep.
So if anybody who followed me never followed Brian, man, guys, subscribe to him, because this guy's a hard hitter. I mean, he don't fuck around. He's the fucking hard hitter. He'll ask the questions, hard questions. He'll call out any person he feels that is a poser, fake. He's not afraid of nothing. So if you really want an exciting show, go check out Brian. Now, if you're on drugs, you're trying to get off of drugs, you want to better yourself, I'll fix the webpage for Robert Wood. Go to his channel. Go to his channel, because he will help you get off of drugs. If you need to get off, he'll help you. He's that. Here's Brian's. Look on my page right now. You can see Brian, YouTube.com, user Brian Staveley. So if you're not sub to his channel, you got to ask yourself, why the hell not? You should be subscribed to him. He's good as he speaks. And you know what? Brian didn't have to go on this show. I mean, I'm not saying we're small time, but compared to Brian, we're small time. And it shows a lot of respect that I have for Brian for coming on a show this small, and I appreciate it. And Brian, you're welcome back anytime.
I wanted to help you out too. I really liked your show, and we all should help each other grow. And look, I brought like 70 people. I didn't bring all these people over, but I brought a lot of people over that are going to sub your channel and help your show grow. And you should hit 1,000 subs soon, hopefully after the weekend. Then you can do it on your own.
Hey everybody, I appreciate it. Bob, if you're open tomorrow, I wouldn't mind doing another small one tomorrow, just to talk about what we did today. I think it's fun. And everybody, my show's every Tuesday at 11 for sure. And then sometimes we pop in a show Thursday and Friday, and I'll pop in a 20-minute, 30-minute fuck around, no effect about somebody, because sometimes I believe maybe something didn't change. Maybe the creator behind it is the one who has the Mandela Effect. And that's what my little 30-minute shows are, people who are behind some of these changes. I think it's a funner way sometimes looking at it. I try to be more of a relaxed show. I don't want Brian to come on here and feel like he has to take steroids. I want him to come on here, drink a beer, relax, have a good time.
Take a piss on camera.
We have one title of a show, and we just go wherever we go. We don't pre-script nothing. There's nothing pre-scripted on this show. We don't pre-script shit. Wherever it goes, it goes. It could be good one day, it could suck another day. But I like raw, I like real. So Brian, I appreciate it. And then everybody who's watching us, I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. And if you want to sub your own channel, let me know. I'll check it out. I'll sub you. You sub me. That's like Brian's saying. We're all trying to spread our word different. We're all trying to get to the same place. but we all do it differently. You want the hard hitter, you go to Brian. You want to fuck around, drink some coffee and beer, smoke some weed, you come to this channel.
Hey, I like to smoke weed all the time, motherfucker.
Well, I know, but you know,
I got the detoxers.
I like to have a show there's a show for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why you can't watch us all. You can't watch us live? Fine, watch us later. You know?
Yeah.
So
right,
I appreciate it. I love you guys. And Brian, I'll jump on tonight. Check out your show.
All right, buddy. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
And everybody else, I just said Brian about the end broadcast. Pat, you got a fucking wrench, all right? You son of a bitch. You finally got a wrench. And so, Pat, if you're still on, hey, Pat, give us a thumbs up that you're still on. I want to know if you're hearing me about you having a wrench.
He'll be in there somewhere. He's just probably fucking around in the kitchen. He's probably getting some chips or something out of the cupboard.
Yeah.
Drinking some beers.
Yeah. But Captain Rankin, Raven Sage, Michael Haley, Jake the Poland Bear, Rhonda Cherry. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, Lightning Thoughts in the Mad World. I want to thank you because you did mention that hey, these fucking hicks actually have something to say. And what he's saying is, don't always judge the book by its cover.
Nah, not handsome. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, there's Patrick. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Love you all. Okay, Patrick, you got your fucking and Nachikita. Hey, man, you're welcome.
Hey, back. Yeah.
You're welcome to come back on Tuesdays, man. You're a good guest. I love learning about your country, where you're living, on your spiritual. Hey, Nachikita, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, I could put out every Tuesday. If you want to come in for 15 minutes, just give us an update about your journey. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having a 15-minute part of our show, just you coming on, telling us about your journey. I think that shit is interesting.
It'll help everybody.
It doesn't have to be about Mandela Effect. I love to hear about your journey. So, all right, everybody, have a good day.